Wilson Jack succeeded Dr. Folashade Yemiason, who served as the substantive head of service from March 4, 2020 until August 12, 2024. The swearing-in ceremony took place just before her commitment duty. Bola Tinubu has emphasized the need for sustainable transportation solutions. He inaugurated 30 hybrid CNG buses donated by DAPMAN to the federal government in Abuja, stating that using natural gas for powering the transportation industry. He emphasized that enhancing energy competitiveness and implementing transformative changes will lead to prosperity for the people. Tinubu also mentioned that countries like India have mandated the use of CNG for commercial vehicles since 2004, and in Nigeria, commercial vehicles account for about 80% of petrol demand. Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has resumed his office and is warning banks about illegal transactions. Shaibu, police officer attached to the received a response. The incident occurred on Shaibu's return to Edo State following the court judgment.
My good people of Edo State and fellow Nigerians, today I come before you to reiterate my dedication to serving the wonderful people of Edo State. My reinstatement as the Deputy Governor of Edo State is a testament to the divine grace of God. Grateful. In recent weeks, the Federal High Court in Abuja reinstated me as the Deputy Governor of Edo State, acknowledging the illegality of the impeachment. Thankfully, the bullet missed its mark. Unfortunately, hit an armed policeman assigned to the APC gubernatorial candidate for the upcoming September 21st election in Edo State. Let us take a moment to remember the fallen officer.
The Edo State government has accused Philip Shaibu of impersonating the Deputy Governor of Edo State. Shaibu was reinstated as the Deputy Governor on July 17 following an illegal impeachment by Edo State House of Assembly. The Federal High Court in Abuja ordered the Inspector General of Police to restore Shaibu's security details and pay his salaries and allowances. The Edo Assembly has appealed the judgment and filed for a stay of execution. The state government has called for a stay of execution, suspension of the judgment, and a restraining order to prevent Shaibu from presenting himself or attending official functions as deputy governor. Security agencies are urged to hold Shaibu accountable for any security breaches arising from his actions. The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has denied allegations that it used funds from contractors to fund all Progressive governorship campaigns. The agency's Director of Corporate Affairs, Saledi known the NDDC or candidates contesting elections. The agency, according to them, urges the public to disregard the fake news. Kwara has set up machinery to conduct the election aiming to elect the ruling All Progressives Congress APC is ready for the exercise, while the opposition People's Democratic Party PDP expressed reservations. Local government poll will be held across the 21 local governments in the southeast state. The election timetable can be collected from the Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission headquarters in Awka. Meanwhile, in Kano State, the police command has prosecuted 600 out of the 873 suspects for the destruction and looting of government and public properties during the bad government protest in Kano. The arrested suspects were charged with criminal conspiracy, inciting disturbance, riot, theft, mischief, and arson. 150 suspects were prosecuted for violating the curfew enforced by the Kano state government, while 6 suspects linked to the destruction of the Kano printing press are undergoing investigation. The command recovered 2 AK-47 exhibit rifles and other substantial properties looted by the hoodlums. Despite the challenges, no lives were lost during the protest. The state government in Kano has lifted a 24-hour curfew imposed during the End Bad Governance protest following violence and looting of property worth billions of naira. The curfew was initially imposed for 24 hours, but later reduced to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to allow for business activities. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's media aide Salisu Yahya Hotoro stated that the state government is convinced that peace has returned to the city, resulting in the lifting of the curfew. From Borno State comes the report that the police command arrested 97 suspects during the nationwide hunger protest End Bad Governance. 7 were arrested for flying foreign flags and 7 for inciting violence. 83 were apprehended for vandalism, theft, looting, mischief, and culpable homicide. The police recovered items like illegal drugs, air conditioners, fertilizers, flags, and office furniture. Police Public Relations Officer Nohum Kenneth Odaso said that the suspects exploited the hunger protest to commit law-abiding offenses and will be charged in court.
We have the vandalization of the WFP warehouse at Baga Road and looting of office and food items, removal of interlocks, flower vessels, street lights, and pedestrian bridge barricade at Bulumkutu, Lagos Streets, Baga Road, and Gwanje. We recorded an incident at mechanical workshop where glasses were broken down and tires were burned along major routes. 3 suspects chartered a keke napep and took one James Luka, 20 years of age, who is the driver, from Dubai area to Shagari Locust. The suspect, after luring the victim to an unknown location behind Shagari Locust, they removed a knife and stabbed him in his stomach, which led to the death of James Luka, 20 years of age.
Distribution chain to address exploitative pricing of consumer goods and the Commission believes that understanding can be reached on reasonable pricing to avoid undue profiteering at the expense of consumers. The FCCPC has already mandated supermarkets operators to display former boot camp, have urged young individuals to embrace leadership and accountability. This appeal was made during the second edition of the Peak Performance Emerge 2024, themed Driving an Inclusive Culture of Peak Performance, the place of talking or taking responsibility. The event included various sessions led by distinguished figures from diverse sectors who shared insights on how young people can optimize their potential, draw inspiration from the positive experiences of leaders, and uphold responsibility and dedication to the pursuit or in the pursuit of their objective. Richard Esse has the report.
It is the 2024 edition of the International Youth Day. This gathering has been put together by the Peak Performer in collaboration with United States Diplomatic Mission in Nigeria, as well as the American Corner in Ikeja. Tagged Emerge 2024, this yearly workshop is focused on boosting career and business growth for young Africans.
In this part of the world, once you can believe it, you can do it. Understand who you are, where you are, and your peculiarities.
The event aims to provide up-and-coming leaders and youths with the key skills and mindset necessary for success in their careers and industries. The workshop gathered young professionals from various backgrounds and included notable speakers who shared their personal journeys to motivate and uplift the attendees.
As young leaders, to speak to ourselves and encourage ourselves in our process of becoming in a country that is currently experiencing a very hostile economic situation. So we are here today to just say to ourselves that if we believe, we can achieve whatever it is we believe, regardless of what the country or the circumstances around us is saying.
So for me, what has stood me out in a way, of course, we won't take God out of it, but the fact is that I had a vision of what I wanted to do with my career. I did not just want to be a comedian that would just tell just people will laugh. No. I had a vision, I had goals, I had targets. At so and so point in life, I want to be at this point. I want to be able to have reason to this point. So there was a vision that I had. And of course, your vision determines your actions. So what you have a vision on will determine the kind of places you go to, the kind of the kind of education you will give to yourself. So for me, I have a strong vision of what I want to achieve, where I want to get to, and that is what has kept the other guys that we know there.
The host, world-class performance strategist Dr. Abiola Salami, and others highlights the importance of fostering a positive mindset in the youth to nurture a generation of responsible and impactful leaders.
So it's important for young people to know that greatness doesn't happen suddenly. Greatness is built over time. And so for every young person out there who are doing their best, to survive, I want to challenge you that what you should be thinking of is not just survival, but thriving. understanding that greatness is not a sudden incident.
By equipping young people with the right mindset, the event plays a pivotal role in nurturing the next generation of leaders, ensuring they are well prepared to make impactful contributions to their fields and communities.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has said there is the urgent need for strong commitment by state governments and stakeholders in the education sector to develop models to reduce the high number of out-of-school children in Nigeria. UNICEF education specialist Azuka Menkiti made the remarks at a two-day regional stakeholders meeting on out-of-school children and retention, transition and completion models for Southwest states. Details in this report.
Here are stakeholders in the education sector from the Southwest. The focus is to chart ways on addressing the menace of out-of-school children in the region. Speaking on this development, UNICEF's education specialist said the number of out-of-school children in the country is alarming, stressing that there is the need to build multiple learning pathways to tackle the menace in the country and retention transition in secondary education.
We are particularly interested in this meeting on those who are at the risk of dropping out and at the risk of not actually completing secondary education, especially for the southwestern states that we know that have high percentage rate of children who are in schools. So their issues here are actually around retention, transition and completion of secondary education for adolescents between the ages of 10 to 12 to 14 years or 18 years of age. We're also supporting, advocating that states begin to look at how can they create more access, working with community structures, community leaders, religious leaders, to begin to address social norms that keep children out of school. Also, there are some direct and indirect costs of education that actually impede demand for education for secondary education. So these are some of the very good discussions we have had this afternoon for commissioners to begin to look at how can they stop those direct and indirect costs of education, especially as the Constitution of Nigeria says that secondary education is supposed to be free and compulsory for every Nigerian child. The third area of intervention we're advocating today is also for them to look at how can they scale up foundational literacy and numeracy programs.
Also speaking, UNICEF education specialist Babakana Aminu said out of 6 million children that enroll in primary education yearly, 1 million of them do not get to lower secondary school. Quoting from multiple cluster survey of 2021, Aminu said that the education completion rate in the Southwest region revealed that the primary education rate stood at 92.6%.
About 8% of children are out of school. But that is not the most worrisome data, if I may say, concerning the Southwestern state. Most of the worrisome data, it has to do with retention, that is retaining those children that must have enrolled into school, but not only retaining them, but are they completing the level of education that they have enrolled into. What I mean more specifically here is that the completion of primary school children when they are in lower secondary, that is in junior secondary school. And as well, when they transit senior secondary school, how well are they transiting? So the data shows about 92% and 85% of those children that are completing primary and upper secondary education. So that is really, really worrisome. That means a lot of children that enter into primary school may not have the opportunity to complete junior secondary school, and that means the future for them is still blurry. So where are these children? That means these children, if they are not in school, they are out of school. If they are out of school, are they doing any vocational, are they attending any vocational or skills program? Or where are they? That means there is need for government and also all the stakeholders in education to really take action to address these issues, especially around the 21st century skills, foundational literacy and numeracy, and transferable skills, which are essential for them to thrive in the today's world.
In his remarks, the Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, said to achieve the needed result in the state and the region in general, intervention must be done seriously, which include the provision of meals for children in schools.
The school feeding program should be vigorously pursued, so that these children can at least be sure that there will be at least one meal in school, which will probably encourage them to come to school. That one is also there. Also, there is need for vigorous campaigns, vigorous enrollment drive. You know, at the beginning of every session or during the holidays, you want to go around to encourage parents, go to motor parks, go to marketplaces, go to various locations in the towns and cities to ensure that parents bring their children to school. So, and let them be aware of policies that you are putting in place to encourage these children to come to school.
It is expected that the deliberations at the stakeholders' engagement will lead to positive outcomes in the sector.
The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has withheld the results of 215,267 candidates from the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate Examination, representing 11.92% of the 1,805,216 candidates who took the exam. The results were withheld due to reported cases of examination malpractice, which was 4.375% lower than the 16.29% recorded in the 2023 WASC for school candidates. The Council will continue to sanction all cases of examination malpractices, citing the undermining of the educational system by schools, supervisors, teachers, and candidates involved in such practices. The Council is also investigating the increasing use of mobile phones in examination halls and organized cheating in some schools.
Who have fulfilled their financial obligations to the Council can assess their results on the Council's results. WAEC does not and has not asked schools to charge fees for collection of certificates. So we are making this public that we don't and we have not asked schools to collect fees for collection of certificates from candidates. So if candidates and parents are aware of this, I think the ball is in their court.
Nigerian officials of the National Hajj Commission have been arrested by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, over allegations of mismanagement or diversion of 90 billion naira released by the federal government to subsidize the 2024 Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. The officials were arrested in their offices and taken to the ICPC's office after failing to honor earlier invitations. They were interrogated for hours on the 90 billion naira subsidy for pilgrims upon their arrival. The arrest follows the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's interrogation of NACON chairman Jalal Arabi over alleged mismanagement of 90 billion naira 2024 Hajj subsidy. A Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt is set to deliver a judgment on a suit filed by elected state, local government and ward executives of the All Progressives Congress APC against the party's national executive and the seven-man caretaker committee led by Tony Okocha. The presiding judge, Justice Sika Aprioku, has reserved the judgment for a date to be communicated within 48 hours. The judgment will be delivered virtually at noon on August 12, 2024, and security will be heightened around the court. The suit seeks a judicial interpretation of the APC constitution and Nigerian law regarding the suspension and inauguration of the seven-man caretaker committee led by Okocha. In the meantime, the Action People's Party APP in Rivers State has condemned a devastating explosion at its secretariat, causing destruction and fears of escalating political violence. The party, which recently secured a building in Port Harcourt for its secretariat, called for President Bola Tinubu and security agencies to ensure those responsible are punished.
It's really a sad day for democracy. We condemn it in its strongest term, the act of bombing our Rivers State chapter secretariat. It is a heinous act. It is an act of terrorism. It is a treasonable act. We are all aware of what is happening in Rivers State. Is happening. Agencies.
Violent. But if any indication of defeat on their side, it's a clear indication that we are doing the right thing and we will not be decided in any form at all. These barbaric acts, these uncivilized acts of people who think that they are reservoirs of violence, who think that they are reservoirs of knowledge, who think that Rivers State must control whatever they want or whatever they interact.
Arrested the leaders of the main opposition party, Chadema, including Chairman Freeman Mbowe, and the leaders of the party's youth wing, John Pambolu, on charges of inciting violence. The arrests were made at an airport in Mbeya. Despite relaxation in restrictions on political parties, opposition leaders claim violations have increased in the run-up to the 2025 election. President Samia Suluhu is expected to run for the ruling Chama cha Mapinduzi party. Outside Africa, the Israeli military has ordered more evacuations in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis after a deadly airstrike on a school-turned-shelter in the north killed at least 80 Palestinians. Israel has repeatedly ordered mass evacuations as its troops have returned to heavily destroyed areas where they had previously battled Palestine.
I will take you through this amazingness today.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to.
Killed at least 80 Palestinians. Israel has the vast majority of Gaza's population of 10-month-old war is approaching 4 of famine. In business news, Nigeria from June 2023 to June 2024 addressing in 1981 is drawn from the Federation account at a rate of 2% to assist all government ties in tackling ecological problems. Kano State received the highest allocation, totaling 2.1 billion naira, while Borno State received 1.68 billion naira, averaging 140 million naira per month. Heavy rainfalls have rendered a portion of the Kano-Maiduguri highway impassable, causing traffic disruptions. The federal government terminated the contract for Section 1 of the Kano-Maiduguri road project due to delays. In entertainment news,